Hello, fellow risk takers, and welcome to my worst investment ever. Stories of loss to keep you winning. In our community, we know that to win in investing, you must take risk, but to win big, you've got to reduce it. My name is Andrew Stotz from A, Stotz Investment Research, and I'll be your worst podcast host for the day. And I'm here with featured guest Stephen Kalayjian. Stephen, are you ready to rock?
I'm ready to rock, Andrew. Good morning and good afternoon, and welcome, everybody. Very excited to be here.
Yeah, and for those listening that can't see this, you've got how many screens behind you there? I'm counting 9, 27, how many?
I think it's 40, 41. I might have to get 2 more, but I'm good with 40, 41.
There's a lot happening behind you. But let me introduce you to the audience. Stephen is the chief market strategist and co-founder of Ticker Tocker. Has over 30 years of experience in the industry trading stocks, futures, and currencies, having begun his career at the American Stock Exchange in 1983, the year I graduated from high school. Since that time, he has traded nearly 2 billion shares. Wow, over his career. In 2005, Stephen founded his own firm to research and develop software to help identify trends, reversals, patterns, and divergences in the marketplace for all asset classes and timeframes. Stephen seeks to generate high alpha trading ideas throughout the day. He and his team employ technical analysis through utilizing the proprietary charting software he developed on Ticker Tocker in order to forecast the market. So Stephen, take a moment and fill in further tidbits about your life.
Well, welcome, everybody. So August 1st of this year is, I guess, my anniversary, 37 years in the industry. I'm very proud of that. An industry that has given me nothing but great joy. You know, growing up, I wanted to be a professional baseball player. I was very talented. I actually went to a major league tryout camp and got heavily recruited there. And then I always wanted to become a doctor. I always wanted to be a surgeon. So I love helping people, and I wanted to really push myself to the outer limits. And I thought I could be a heart surgeon or, you know, something of significant magnitude where you require 8 to 15 hours of surgery because I had significant stamina. And I didn't have the resources for it. And then one day my father said to me, hey, I want you to take a day off from school. I want you to come to see what I do for a living. And then as I'm walking up the marble stairs, the 23, 24 stairs on the American Stock Exchange, my father was standing at the top in his blue smock. And as I got closer to the floor, I heard the roar of the floor, and I don't know, my veins started to swell, and I just said, Jesus, and I hear Ac no dis. I said, Dad, what's an Ac no dis? He said, October, November, December, you idiot. I'm like, oh my God, this is gonna be a fun day, right? so here it is. So and you know, one of the greatest things is, yes, as much as I wanted to play Major League Baseball, and I was given a gift, and I wanted to be a surgeon, I have no regrets. What the good Lord has instilled in me with the ability to build predictive analytics to help not only myself, but you know, people in the world, whether they're trading equities, commodities, index futures, options, and the forex, has really been giving me a joy, and that's why I decided to build Ticker Tocker with my partner Joe, because the content that we're producing here on a daily basis is like no other. And I know there are thousands of people who proclaim, and I can just tell you from 37 years of experience, what we do here is really the right course for the right person, whether you're scalp, day, swing, intermediate, or long-term investing. So we're proud of the platform, Ticker Tocker, and this is our goal for, you know, to really enhance all traders around the world.
And can you just, for those people that don't know Ticker Tocker, can you just give the 30,000 foot view of what exactly that you do with Ticker Tocker?
So Ticker Tocker is, and I'll explain the platform quickly, and then so Ticker Tocker is a web-based platform. We also have Ticker Tocker TV. We run it 8 hours a day. Some big announcements are coming out on that as well in the near couple weeks. But Ticker Tocker was a platform designed to create content by many very top professionals I know in the industry. And people that, you know, could educate the right way. I mean, I have newbies that come to me all the time. I had a gentleman, I think from Germany, saying, I only have $500 in an account, you know, so obviously what I charge is less than a cup of coffee a day. I wanted to make it so minimal that people grasp the learning knowledge of what we do. Everybody's different with different price points, but we try to keep it where it's so affordable that the end user, from a novice to the most sophisticated traders, are not going to feel a significant impact. We're about really taking the time to take the platform and educate so many people. And obviously, I would love to have you on my platform because, you know, especially here in the States, people are looking for any type of content that would help them. In, you know, and there's so many DNAs in the world. So we try to focus on covering all the DNAs on Ticker Tocker. So for me, it's 8 hours a day in a live room, calling out trades, ideas, market direction, and I'm just seeing it. People are using my analytics. I have a telestrator. I'm explaining what's going to happen next and why this is going to happen. And I'm not a fundamentalist at all. The only time I was ever a fundamentalist is when Amazon came out about a month and a half ago, 2 months ago, and said when the stock was 16.27, we're going to hire 100,000 new employees. I'm like, guys, did you hear what this company just said? Their earnings going to be blowout. This is going to be the greatest stock in the world. Okay, you got to buy Amazon on Ticker Tocker TV. This is in the stock ran 1,600 points. So that's the only time I was a fundamentalist. I'm basically all, well, 100% all technically oriented, and in doing so, I spent 8 years of my life building predictive analytics.
Got it. Okay, great. Well, I'm really excited to get you on the show because I know you've got a doozy. So now it's time to share your worst investment ever. And since no one ever goes into their worst investment thinking it will be, tell us a bit about the circumstances leading up to it and then tell us your story.
So when I worked on the 40 American Stock Exchange, and boy, this is a doozy. I was working, before I was working on the 40 American Stock Exchange, I was making $2.10 an hour. That was what the minimum wage was. So just take, you know, I had a little over $3,000 saved up. So it was 1,500 hours of hard work, cutting grasses, cleaning windows, washing cars, doing clean basements or garages. I just did whatever I needed to do to survive. And so I took the $3,000, and my father's friend was a broker at, I believe, a Prudential, and I opened up a brokerage account. Well, when I was working on the 40 American Stock Exchange at Post 3, right behind me at Post 7 was a stock called American Can. That was a Dow stock, but the stock traded on the big board, New York Stock Exchange, and the options traded on the Amex. So I don't know, it was probably like a little before October, September of that year, and of 1983. And I just literally started on the floor August 1st of 83. So again, 37 years in the industry. So I said, oh, American Can, oh, it's above 50. And I said, all right, I'm going to buy a call option. So I bought 5 Feb 50, never forget this as long as I live. I bought 5 Feb 50 calls. Now, mind you, you still had October, November, December, January, February, 5 months that I was going to bet that the stock was going to go higher, because a call option is you're betting that stock is going higher. But I never knew about premium depreciation or anything like that, right? So, and plus if the stock went down, I didn't realize that the option went down. So like, you know, so I bought 5 50 calls at 2 3/4, roughly, you know, with commission close to $1,500, so half of what my net worth was at the time. And then the stock started to drift lower over a couple of weeks, and probably around 46, 47, the options were trading probably like $1.25. I bought more, you know, I bought all the way down. And I think it was right before Thanksgiving, the stock was trading around 44, 43, if I remember correctly. I remember I had my head in my hands like this, just shaking my head, thinking how many times I cut Mrs. Lubaroff's lawn to make this money, you know? And then somebody patted me on the back and said, hey, kid, go home, enjoy yourself. You can't turn the machines back on, right? Just like we saw in Trading Places, right? Like, turn the machines back on, right? So with that, it got worse. The stock got down, I think, close to 40. And it was right around Christmas. I was broke. beyond broke. My father's friend said to me, break up with your girlfriend so you don't have to break, and then go back with her after Christmas so you don't have to buy her a Christmas present. So I didn't take the advice, but I kind of scrounged some money up to get her something small at the time. And then January came around and the options were trading, I think, like a steenth an eighth, or a cabinet to a steenth, or an eighth a quarter, nothing, peanuts, you know? And I only had like maybe, 8 weeks left before the option, expired, worthless, pretty much. And then around exactly the 1 week before expiration, so my entire investment's down to zero, right? And so I had no risk, no discipline of risk. No preservation of capital. I had, zero, nothing. I just rolled the dice, and I was better off going to AC and betting red or black and knowing within 3 minutes of the spin versus 5 months of my stomach ripping at the seam, right? So a week before expiration, the stock's up 2 on Monday, 3 on Tuesday, 4 on Wednesday, 3 on Thursday. Now it's back to 49.5, 49.75, 50, and then up 3.5, 4 on Friday. And at 3:45, I went to the yellow phone. I picked up the phone. I said, Tommy, sell whatever, I think 25, 50 calls, market. They were trading, I think they were trading like 2.5, 3, or 3.5 or something like that. And I see the broker walking in with my order. American Cam, 50 calls. I'll sell 30 or 25 at 3. Take them, like that. I'm like, that's my order, like that, right? So as I'm watching this unfold, I turn around and I see my father standing right there, looking at me with this look on his face. And he says to me, are you out? I said, I'm out. He said, he said, when I came on the floor this Monday, when they walked on the trading floor, the American Stock Exchange trading floor, he said he saw a penny faced up. And he bent over, picked up the penny faced up, made a wish that I would not lose any money. So he says to me, what did you learn from this experience? So now I'm really thinking really hard. And I said, whenever you have a losing position, you look for a penny faced up. He says, no, you idiot. You never average down. So, and then I ran right into with 8 minutes to go, I bought 10 Merrill Lynch call options like an idiot. So I just had the passion to trade. And it was like, so again, I think that why I use the 5 keywords: consistency, discipline, confidence, patience, and passion. Well, the discipline is everything. I don't care if you're scalp day, intermediate, long, you have, or long term, you have to have discipline. And, I remember like watching Enron go from 78 down to 2, or all these stocks, and, or, all these Devon Energy stocks. I mean, I watched bloodbaths over the years and nobody gets out, Right. I watched a stock, LA Gear, was a growth stock. I knew the owner.
Yep.
Went from 45 to 90. It was usually when I was at post 3 on the New York Stock Exchange. It was right in front of me, and the stock was flying every day, like up 4, up 8, and eventually they split it 2 or 3 times, and then LA Gear went bust, and then obviously nobody. I knew a lot of people never even sold it. Just kept on thinking it was going to keep going and going and going. I think. So
how would you summarize the lesson that you learned from this? I mean, you mentioned the words that you use, I know, on your, in your business and on your site and stuff, but
I guess the lesson here is, no matter that you've worked extremely hard for the money that you have to invest, and that if you're wrong, that's the thing. Nobody wants to admit when they're wrong, right? And that they don't realize that when you're wrong, it's okay to be wrong. We're human beings. But now the challenge is, let's do it right, and whatever you did, right? Whether, like, there are times like we're in a position that a tweet comes out, we get stopped out. Can't do anything about news events. I mean, sometimes it works in our favor, sometimes it doesn't. It's literally 50-50. Yep. I mean, we had S&Ps long, boom, the news got boom, up 12. You know, there were times, boom, down 8, and we're stopped out. I mean, the pattern's great and everything looks great, and we should have gotten a 4 to 8 handle move up on the E-minis. Instead, news came out, but then we go right back in and then short the next bounce or buy the next pullback. So there's always another trade, but you have to adhere to preservation of capital. One of the lessons that, you know, that I deal with people in my live room all the time is the lack of discipline. I knew a guy who thought he was bigger than the market. He shorted PayPal right the day of the earnings, and the stock exploded, and he lost like $20,000. So I said to him, I'm going to help you under one condition. I want you to get your mirror. I want you to take a picture of your wife and your 2 kids and put it on the mirror and make sure that you never make the same mistake ever again. You gambled your money thinking that PayPal was going to go down because you shorted it when PayPal actually rallied 20. Well, he made all his money back, right? And he's in my room every day, and he loves me. And I call him, you know, by his first name, but the word crazy in front of it, right? In a joking, loving way. But the point is that no one's bigger than the market. And so if you're not, you got to take that, and then you got to really adhere to preservation of capital and discipline. Like I remember back in, you know, '08 when, you know, and then the times when we had bloodbaths in the market, and I watched people's 401ks, I'm like, oh, it'll come back. It'll come back. You know, yeah, how do you know it's going to come back? Yes, it has come back because the Federal Reserve just prints money and they'll do whatever they can because, you know, you can't have a faltering stock market, and it's got a significant backstop here, which is completely not fair because no business in the United States that I know of has any backstop, except when when the President Obama, and then he backed all the banks with the TARP, and then all the auto stocks, you know, auto companies. But you know, it's small America doesn't have a backstop. I mean, I went to a restaurant, they were closed, Brio, nobody backstopped them. But again, I think that people have to realize that, and I use a lot of baseball terms, I love the game. This is the major leagues. And if you're going to invest, right, or trade, you got to have discipline. And it doesn't hurt to take a profit. I can't tell you, like, I have people that will not sell if they're, even if they're 50, 80, 100 points in the name. I'm like, you got it. What's wrong? This is insanity. You know, and then they cry when it drops $40. I'm like, I don't want to hear it. You know,
some people just won't sell until they lose.
Yeah. They, you know, I think people just want to be taught the lesson, you know, like, oh, it's not going to happen or anything. I've seen so many things. Did I ever thought I saw a -40 oil in my life? No. We saw down $106 gold yesterday, 4 cents in silver. Yeah. Come on. Did I ever think I have pictures of all this? You ever think you see a 3,000 Dow down? No. So I've seen it all, you know?
So, maybe I'll summarize some of the things that I take away from it. You know, the idea, the first thing is that the discipline is such a critical thing. And I think that's something that when I look back at when I started in the stock market, first of all, I had no money. You know, like you, I had, you know, no money when I started. And basically, I always saw it as, you know, I'm too poor to be able to just gamble. I've got to, you know, be much more careful. I can't afford to lose.
Right.
And so I had to take risk management very seriously. Whereas I see so many people that come into the market with no risk management at all. It's part of what this podcast is all about, is to wake people up to risk management. I think the second thing in my case was that when I came to Thailand, not long after, my best friend came from America, and we set up a factory here in Thailand. And, you know, that took a lot of capital, and we knew we weren't going to get support from banks and stuff as 2, you know, American guys in Thailand. And then we had the 1997 crisis where everything fell apart. And the end result of that was that I always had to have cash reserve. You know, I could not bet it all on anything. And I always had to make sure that I wasn't going to lose it all either. So, you know, it just, I always say to myself, you know, like, I say to people, you know, I'm too poor to be able to, you know, take the risk that you take. But truthfully, most people, as I explained in one of the courses that I teach, I try to explain about seatbelt. Nobody goes into a car these days that doesn't put on a seatbelt. Everybody accepts that a seatbelt is a great risk reducer. And the fact is, if you don't wear your seatbelt and you have a car accident, the world doesn't care. You know, you're going to die, and you couldn't have saved your life if you just worn it. And it's the same thing with whatever that risk management thing is. In your case, a stop loss. In someone else's case, you know, I buy stocks super cheap, therefore it doesn't go down as much, or whatever that is. But, you know, the importance of risk management, I think, is the biggest key that I take away. And, you know, one question I have for you about that is when you look at a stop loss, and you say, as you said, it's, you know, 50-50. Sometimes it goes down further. Sometimes it comes back up.
That's on news related.
Yeah. How can somebody deal with that? I know there's a lot of people, they see a stop loss, they execute a stop loss, and then the trade, you know, bounces back and they think, oh, what an idiot. I should have never taken that, you know, executed that stop loss. But how do you?
Yeah. So the mindset's got to be so powerful that you cannot look back. Yeah. I tell everybody next trade. That's it. We'll make it back. Next trade. That's it. Let's go. Okay. Have confidence in my software. Have confidence in our ability here. Have confidence. Listen, blank's going to happen, right? No matter what, during the day. Yesterday, we saw a Dow up 335 at one point, and then actually reversed down to negative 55 at one point. So you saw almost an 800-point up-down reversal in a day. Yeah. You saw the NASDAQ futures up and then down 177 or whatever it was. So we saw stocks get absolutely slaughtered. You know, one of the things about predictive analytics in the software I built, I visually can see it with the technology. I have my own charting application on Ticker Tocker. Right. And so I'm actually able to teach people, you know, how these patterns line up and when I get correlation studies. So I'm very big into correlations. And I do look at multiple time frames. So everything's all technical with me. So, but I'm able to visually see it. So without this software, I wouldn't even know which way the markets were going. I spent, like I said, 8 years of my life, and I think I took 2 days off in doing so. And so the passion was there. I actually thought it was going to take 1 year of my life, but it took another 7. And I believe that this technology that I have, once I teach it, in a couple of days, people get it. I have actually people now so in tune to the software, they're calling out trades to me.
Right.
Hey, look at Chevron yesterday. Look at the sell divergence. I mean, boom, sell it, new high, sell it, boom, drops $1.40, whatever. So it's so great in 37 years now to have worked so hard to build a product and then teach people, and they're actually seeing it for themselves. I mean, I have text messages. People made just in one stock on Friday, $3,200 and $5,200 in Tesla, and that's just one name. We deal with the biggest names on the board here. So I think that there is a significant misconception. People say day trading is a losing proposition. Well, I'm still here. Yeah. You know, I mean, I was, you know, I was one of the, if not one of the best in the world doing it. And then if you look, my goal now is to help others who are struggling, who don't understand, and I talk to them same way as if I know a guy who's a billionaire versus someone who's new and doesn't have any money to trade, but I try to teach them the exact same way. I've taught top hedge fund professionals correlation studies between the underlying ETF and the continuous contract on the futures markets. They don't even know what the hell I'm talking about. When I showed them, finally after about 10 minutes, I go, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, this is amazing, you know? So I was given a gift, and now my gift now is to give it back. That's why we built Ticker Tocker. And so we feel very, very proud of the platform, and we feel that with the amount of people that are on, it's anybody can pick whoever they like and see the content and get a good understanding. I'm about to complete a course, and again, it's going to be super cheap because I want people to really learn. That's the most important thing.
Got it. All right, last question. What's your number one goal for the next 12 months?
To move to Florida.
Florida?
No. Well, Yeah, well, it is actually. I don't like the Northeast. I don't like the cold. I've been here too long. I'm going to be 58 years old in February of 2021, and my bones hurt. So, but I'll answer the question more. My goal here is to really inspire people to learn the right way with Ticker Tocker.
Mm.
I've seen in I know a girl, she called me up on a Saturday, says, "Hi, what are you doing?" I go, "Oh, not much. I'm just whatever." And she's like, "Well, I just went to Barnes and Noble and spent $250 on books." I'm like, "Return them, return them. I'll teach you, So, and she did. And, but, the one thing I have to say is I think the goal here is to really change and help people change their lives, whether it's through me or any of the end users on Ticker Tocker. And that,
Great.
to me, is our goal going forward.
Okay, so we're going to check in with you in 12 months in Florida.
Oh, I love the beach. And I
Yes.
love the warm weather.
Yes.
I don't sweat, so it just, I get
a lot of
goosebumps.
that warm weather over here in Thailand. Well, listeners, there you have it. Another story of loss to keep you winning. To find more stories like this, previous episodes, and resources to help you reduce your risks, visit myworstinvestmentever.com. And as we end, Stephen, I want to thank you for coming on the show. I want to also congratulate you for being one of the brave ones. I say brave ones because most people, when I ask them to come on the show, they say, "Andrew, no thank you. I'd prefer to talk about my winners." So congratulations for taking your worst investment ever and turning it into, as you've already said, what is your goal? Teaching. So you've taken it and turned it into your best teaching moment. Do you have any parting words for the audience?
Well, that story changed my life because it really instilled the discipline that I needed. As an athlete, as I stated earlier, you have to have discipline in your workout and your maintenance of your body and your, getting better and hitting and throwing and everything I did that related to the game of baseball. So I ate right. I didn't drink, or I actually got teetotaler award in high school. So I think that the discipline that I took into my athletics really then transformed based upon that story into trading. And it happened to be my first trade that I had to learn discipline. So I think that's the most compelling thing, that it followed me throughout my whole life.
Fantastic. Well, that's a wrap on another great story to help us create, grow, and protect our fellow risk takers. This is Andrew Stotz, your worst in podcast host, saying, I'll see you on the upside.